Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. It's your boy Chris. This channel, Financiation, is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth, and it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. So today, everybody, I'm gonna talk about a slightly different subject. We're gonna talk about something different today. We're gonna talk about the life of the great Bill Russell, and it's really kind of interesting because if you're not familiar, I am an absolute diehard Laker fan. Kobe Bryant was actually my favorite athlete of all time. And I actually wore that jersey to the 2008 finals when they played the Boston Celtics in the TD Garden. And if you actually can find footage of that game, you're going to see this loud black guy running around basically wearing a Kobe Bryant jersey, literally in a sea of green. I went down there with a couple of buddies of mine. I went up to Boston with a couple of buddies of mine. So I'm a diehard Laker fan. And it's really interesting because I hate the Boston Celtics. I can't stand the Celtics. I hate that franchise. But I loved Bill Russell. The man carried himself with dignity. He carried himself with class. And he was the epitome of class personified. And it's actually interesting because most Laker fans, we hate the Boston Celtics. We can't stand that Booger Green franchise. But I have literally never met a Los Angeles Laker fan that hated Bill Russell. So, like I said, it's gonna be a different video today, and we're just gonna kind of celebrate the life of one of the great 20th century athletes and one of the great men of the 20th century. So, William Felton Russell, he was born in Monroe, Louisiana in 1934. And just to kind of give you two stories about Bill Russell, that kind of blew my mind when I read this. His mother basically one day was walking home in Monroe, Louisiana, and a police officer saw her walking down the road. And the cop told her, "Your dress is too fancy. Only white women should wear that dress." So he made Bill Russell's mother take the dress off, and she had to essentially walk home naked. That's America in 1934. Additionally, Bill Russell's father also one day pulled into a filling station, to a gas station, so he could put gas into his car. And there were white people essentially that were in line. So when his father saw the white people who were in line, he was waiting his turn. But then other white people started getting in front of him. And when that happened, Bill Russell's father got in his car and was about to drive off. When he got in his car and was about to drive off, one of the attendants at the gas station put a shotgun in his face and said, "N-word, if you leave, I'll blow your head off." So Bill Russell's father essentially had to wait in line while everyone else was getting gas, and he had to wait for everyone else who was not in line to get in front of him to get gas, and then basically he had to wait for the same attendant to fill his car up. So I say those stories, everybody, to say that that was the reality that Bill Russell and lots of other minorities grew up with in that particular time in America. That was the Jim Crow South. And when Bill Russell was 8 years old, his father got sick of the racism and everything, and he moved his family from Monroe, Louisiana to Oakland, California. Bill Russell moved to Oakland when he was 8 years old. And his mother, unfortunately, died when Bill Russell was 12. She died when they were in California. Bill Russell also started playing basketball in Oakland, and he started playing basketball in California. To transition from that phase of his life, Bill Russell was an absolute beast of an athlete. If you've never actually read about some of the accomplishments of this man, it's insane. He is literally labeled the greatest, not LeBron James, not Messi, not Babe Ruth, not Michael Jordan, not whoever. Bill Russell is basically labeled as the greatest winner in American sports history. He was a two-time national champion at the University of San Francisco. He won two national championships in 3 years. He won 55 games in a row. He was so dominant. Bill Russell was so dominant in college basketball that they basically widened the lane so that he couldn't be as dominant. They literally changed the rules so that he basically wouldn't dominate college basketball as much as he did. He also won 2 gold medals in the Olympics, I believe in 1956 and 1960. And get this, he was such a good athlete. He actually qualified for the Olympic team, both as a high jumper, and also as a basketball player in the same Olympics. He probably could have medaled as a high jumper. So the man was just an absolute beast of an athlete. And on top of that, he also not only did he qualify not only could he have qualified as a high jumper, he also could have qualified as a long jumper. So the man was a beast of an athlete. It should also be noted that when Bill Russell got to the Celtics, they had never actually went to the NBA Finals. And in 12 years, Bill Russell won 11 championships in a row. The man was 10-0 in Game 7s or whatever. And one of the craziest stats of all was they won, I believe, 8 championships in a row. And once again, I'm a Laker fan. I can't stand the Celtics. But I think that level, I mean, imagine the guy winning 11 championships in 12 years. Tom Brady couldn't even do that. So the fact that this man was this dominant is flat out insane. And one of those NBA teams that he beat had Jerry West on it. It had Elgin Baylor and had Wilt Chamberlain. Those are 3 of the top 50 NBA players of all time. Bill Russell also had 5 5 NBA Most Valuable Player awards, and he was also the first black head coach, in I believe American team sports history. So it was absolutely insane from an athletic standpoint what Bill Russell was able to do. Having said that, there also was a dark side to a lot of the things that he had to face when he was playing. Bill Russell dealt with absolutely brutal, in-your-face, Jim Crow type racism. So, perfect example. After he won his 6th championship, people broke into his home because he lived in suburban Boston, and they basically spray painted the N-word all over his house, and they defecated in him and his wife's bed when they weren't home. His own Boston fans booed and jeered Bill Russell when he played, and there were certain cities that they were playing where he actually could not stay in the hotels with his teammates at various cities. So imagine that after leading the Boston Celtics to 6 championships in 7 years, imagine somebody breaks into your home in suburban Boston and spray paints racial epithets all over the walls, and they defecate in you in your wife's bed. That's the reality that Bill Russell played under. It should also be noticed that J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI, they basically had him under constant surveillance because they said that he was a dangerous N-word who was mean to white children. So these are the kind of realities that Bill Russell had to play through, and he basically always carried himself with dignity. He always carried himself with class. And to his credit, even though the city of Boston at times showed racism towards him, the Boston Celtics organization with the red R back in our fans with red R bot, they always treated him with dignity, with class, and respect. And the last thing I'll say about the racism that Bill Russell dealt with was in his first press conference as a head coach, he was asked by the Boston media, was he going to be racist to white players? So that's basically the unfortunate reality that Bill Russell played with in his day. But what's kind of crazy is that despite all of his quote unquote athletic achievements and despite the racial things that he dealt with, I've always kind of thought what's most important about Bill Russell is the fact that he was just as dominant off the basketball court as he was on the basketball court. He marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. He's still with Muhammad Ali in regards to the hypocrisy of going to fight in Vietnam against Southeast Asian men or whatever, who never called him anything derogatory, when basically in his own country, Muhammad Ali got treated like a second and a third class citizen. Bill Russell was also one of the last icons of a civil rights era, and at 88 years old, unfortunately, the Muhammad Ali's, unfortunately, Jim Brown is still alive, but he's getting up there in age. But unfortunately, like a lot of our civil rights icons, they are unfortunately passing. Bill Russell, he was an ambassador for the NBA. And I should also think it's pretty interesting and noteworthy that at 83 years old, Bill Russell's first tweet was him kneeling basically with Colin Kaepernick, calling attention to the amount of unarmed black men getting shot, unfortunately, by police officers. So Bill Russell, from the civil rights movement to the modern day police shootings that we're currently having, Bill Russell was very open and upfront about social justice issues, and he never shied away from public criticism in regards to the stances that he took. So with that, I would like to say thank you, Mr. Russell. I would like to say thank you for all the things that you've done. I obviously knew you from your exploits off the court because I'm way too young, never actually seen you play. But the dude averaged 25 rebounds in one season. He averaged over 19 rebounds in multiple seasons. And he won, once again, 11 championships. And he dominated and beat one of the greatest, in my opinion, top 10 NBA players of all time, Wilt Chamberlain, almost every time they played in the NBA Finals. So it's pretty amazing when you think about it. And I do want to say this though, in regards to the Boston Celtics, and this is once again coming from a Laker fan, so you can take this however you want it. The Boston Celtics were the first NBA team to draft a black player. They were the first NBA team to start 5 black players. They were the first NBA team to hire a black head coach. And on May 6th, 1999, the Celtics re-retired Bill Russell's number 6 in the TD Garden, and Bill Russell literally had tears coming down his eyes or whatever. And I say that story to say this: I do think that over time things can get better and that things can change, whether it's America, whether it's the Celtics or whatever. So with that, I just think everybody should continue to try to move our country forward in regards to it living up to its ideals. So rest in peace, Bill Russell. You were one of the 20th century's best athletes, but you were also, more importantly, one of the 20th century's best people, and you will be missed. Once again, please like, please comment, please subscribe. It's your boy Chris. This channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth, and it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. I wanted to do something a little different for this video, and as I said earlier, rest in peace, Bill Russell. You will be missed. Peace.